If I turn so I don't get notifications up the gazoo, should I turn my?
Hold on. All right. We're live. All right. If you wanna, we're live. Okay. I heard that.
So I don't get notifications up the gazoo, should I turn my?
Hold on. All right. Oh, I'm listening to myself. We're live. I do this every. I've done this like if 3 times in a row now. We're live. Okay. Okay. So apparently we're gonna have some more viewers because Mr. Girl didn't show up today because he forgot his stream, and I linked this, so there's people. But we're gonna talk about the experience of women on Discord.
Oh,
And you have experiences in both the Mr. Girl community and in the Destiny community, and you left the Mr. Girl community on your own. You were banned from the Destiny community. I have some. First of all, happy Martin Luther King Day. My mom made brownies, as is our tradition, and we just realized this year that like you could I guess like vaguely interpret that as like a racist thing, because like they're brownies and like black people.
well, I was gonna say we made blondies at my house so as not to culturally appropriate on
Ooh.
my.
Well,
I'm kidding.
these brownies had white chocolate chips in them, so it's all good. It's
They're mixed. They're
yeah.
the BIPOC brownies.
All right. So one thing I want to bring up. Originally, I wanted to call this sexism on Discord, but you said you want to distance yourself from the word sexism. So how do you feel about that?
I think we can separate when there are actions that make the kind of like reinforce a sexist like tenor or atmosphere to your server versus individuals that I think are actually sexist
Mm-hmm.
as per their character. So, and when you say sexism on Discord, the implication might be that people in charge are in a very directed way trying to suppress women. And I don't think that's necessarily the case so much
It's
as
just
that their actions
misogyny.
reinforce that it's just I don't think it's just misogyny, or
Okay.
I think sometimes those labels can.
You don't like the
Um,
labels.
I don't like the labels, no, especially just because so many times I get frustrated when people call out misogyny and sexism in certain spaces,
You want to
and
give
I
them
just
an out, right? You want to give them an out. You want them to have a chance to not be like that, right? I feel like that's right. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just.
I don't want to, yeah, jump to kind of a rigid conclusion that they can't,
Yeah.
they can't redefine themselves, or that they can't respond to me and set the record straight.
Okay.
I
So
just, I prefer to talk in terms of what happened, what's the context, what's the evidence, and let I can draw my conclusions, but I want other people to draw their own conclusions.
okay. And so people were telling you apparently that I had ulterior motives for helping you, and you were asking me about that.
In the chat, I saw briefly. I don't know if it meant like for helping me as far as setting up the stream, which I'm so grateful for you giving me a quick tutorial through OBS, but that in terms of how you were maybe I interpreted it as terms of how maybe you were directing me during the stream, because sometimes, at least initially before the chat got a little more busy and I couldn't follow along, I was getting some direction from you and one other person who I assumed you knew because it was just the two of you in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Telling me, well, no, that was, I don't know if that was that Aaron in the, that wasn't the name I remember.
Aaron Green. Yeah.
So just specific directions about don't be quiet, talk about this, talk about that, and
Oh yeah.
so that's what I interpreted that as don't trust Smith, that maybe he's trying to make you look
No,
bad.
no. The comments of like there's dead air. I was worried you were gonna lose viewers because you started a bit early, and then if you just like sit there, then people are gonna leave, and I was like, oh no, you're gonna lose your viewers, but you had some good viewage there. Um,
Yeah, and I wasn't. I mean, I would assume if I start early, people wouldn't be dissuaded. Although I did start, I don't know how I even started early because at first it wasn't letting me, but I think it's because I didn't have
mhm.
my virtual camera set up. I had it still going to OBS, so it didn't even let me start initially. And then I changed the start time till earlier to 5:30 when it
Mhm.
was about like 5:40. Um, but I
Yeah.
assume people would think that if I'm just, setting up before the actual broadcast time, which was originally 6,
Mhm.
that they'll.
Let's get to the meat. Let's get to the meat. All right, let's get to the
Yeah,
meat.
and that's what you were saying
Someone,
last time. It's good to
someone in
me, and I'm like,
chat,
it's too
someone,
early.
someone in chat just said women aren't real. How does that make you feel? I feel like the comment like women aren't real is uh the perfect type of comment you're gonna see on Discord.
Yeah,
Something,
I
yeah.
mean, it's not one
It's not like
I.
it's evil or it's not. Like, I mean, it's not bad. Who cares? But it
That's what,
generally there's like a negativity. I see a dynamic. I want to hear what you have to say, but I want to tell you my theory and see what you have to say about that after that.
someone says women aren't real. I take it as a bit as a absurdist comment.
Yeah.
You'd have to give me a little bit more to take it more seriously than just a
Yeah, well,
little comment.
this same person was accusing me of murder just a little while ago. So I don't know
Well, there
about,
you go. It's not
yeah,
someone I would take seriously off the bat, but
yeah.
it becomes distracting, I would say, when you're trying to engage in the community. You see a lot of that over and over again.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Um, so I have a theory. So the first time that I talked to you, like a very long time ago when I first started streaming, I gave you some really annoying bullshit about how I feel like women on Discord tend to have this like very sexual or like misandrist energy, like in interacting with men. And now that I'm thinking more about it and I'm being more thoughtful, and I've been talking to a lot of women, I'm realizing that's for a lot of women that's a responsive thing because like people are vaguely just being sexist all the time, so they kind of just have a need to feel to like stand up for themselves, and so they just kind of be a little bit misandrous a little bit, and like they're trying to be like women are trying to have fun by doing that, and then it just gets men more worked up and so I think would you agree or no, or what do you have to say for yourself?
I certainly can relate to finding myself saying misandrous things um, in retaliation
Mm-hmm.
to someone, saying obnoxious ad homs.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, not ideal, but, where it's a Discord space. So you can, to some extent,
Yeah.
expect these things, but then there are limits to when it's to a point where it feels like it's harassing or stifling conversation. By the way, I use harassing colloquially. I know it has a legal
Yeah, we're
connotation.
none of this is very serious. It's just,
No, I know, but when I
yeah,
say
we
harassing, it's just
understand. We understand.
vocabulary. Like, yeah, it becomes, like it can get too annoying. It can feel vitriolic, but offhand. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, you hear obnoxious comments and you kind of stoop to that level and say things that are.
Someone just asked, why are women so mean on Discord? And I think that's what I was trying to say. I feel like women, and like not all women, but I see this in you. I see this in a lot of women, like that. You like you're just like trying to fit in and stand up for yourself, and people are like mildly misogynistic all the time, and then if you want to fit in and stand up for yourself, you're gonna like kind of reflect that attitude back, you know?
I think that it's hard to say for women as a whole how they behave on Discord. I can speak for myself and what I've witnessed, but different servers bring out different sides of people. And especially talking about Mr. Girls or Destiny's
Okay.
politics, they're debate servers. They're meant for kind of uh, incendiary engagement. So just the people who will speak up in general in these kind of servers are going to be the more assertive, aggressive types. And
Let's
there's
start.
less women, so it might give you, so there's less women in general. And then among those women who are even speaking up, you're going to be again probably among the more assertive types. So there may be some confounds in terms of how you want to view women based on what you're seeing in certain servers.
Do you think I killed someone's cat?
It's random.
Someone just said I killed their cat.
I can't see your chat. You want? Let me open the YouTube.
We should get into. Let's start with the. While you're doing that, well, let's start with the what happened in Mr. Girl server.
Well, I'm a woman and I can't do two things at once. So hold on as I try to open your freaking YouTube page.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Okay.
Let me open your YouTube page. And yeah, I'll try to answer your Mr. Girl questions. Real Smith YouTube.
That's girl to you.
I'm sorry? Oh, Mr. Girl, what did I say?
You always called him girl.
Oh yeah, I do always call him girl. Sometimes I switch around. I'll say, hey girl. Well, this is way back then. I haven't talked to him since I left the server. Real Smith. Where are you? Oh, I found you. Sorry, I opened my wrong browser. That's not connected to me.
Ah, typical.
Typical.
Okay. So what happened in the Mr. Girl Discord server that made you leave? And you still haven't come back.
I still haven't come back, but you know, I'm not gonna lie. Him being off of YouTube made the streams feel a little less appealing.
Less appealing. Ooh.
Yeah, sorry to say.
Ooh.
Not the being on the call in at least made it a little less appealing since it wasn't since I couldn't readily watch it on YouTube or watch it playback on YouTube. I'm not as familiar with the
Rumble
other.
or Odyssey.
I'm sorry, I'm being so.
Yeah, these people
Well,
they're
because
saying.
I'm open my normal Google account so I can get to my YouTube. Okay.
Okay.
And answer some of the questions. Okay. So when a little before I even left his server, he stopped being able to stream on YouTube, and that made being on the call-ins a little less appealing. The server of the Mr. Gold channel was never my
Yeah, but what happened? Why did you leave? That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about if you like him or not. We're talking about how you were treated.
On YouTube. And that made.
Sorry, I did the same thing. Yeah, so you told me that you were flashed, and I have more intel on that.
Yeah, so it's a long story. We're getting outside this why I left Mr. Girl server.
That's not why?
That is not why I left his server.
Well, it's related, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what happened?
I, on my own server, which is in called the Rape Room. It's a humor server and humor and debate server, and the name is meant to be taken ironically. I was in a VC with a couple other people, and a acquaintance of mine through Discord, I don't know him in real life, and came in and out of the VC, getting progressively drunker, and then eventually came back into the VC with a couple other people who are also on Mr. Girl server. So a couple other users who are friends with this person. I'll just call him Big Dog. Started to address me, saying, "Sarah, I love you. Sarah, you're so pretty," on and on. And it was embarrassing, and he didn't have a shirt on initially. And then, like I said, he was coming in and out. And the last time he came back in with a couple other friends from who I know from Mr. Girl server, and his boxers were kind of barely hanging on. You could see in his video, which he had cam on, and then he stood up, and his boxers dropped, and the whole room was riotous in shock, laughing at what was going on. I was shocked and literally jumped. I was sitting on my bed, jumped off my bed. My laptop fell flat. I could see the ceiling. You'd think I'd never seen a penis before, and he did not just. I don't know. Once I even got my lap, sat back up and composed myself, he was still standing there, showing his half erect penis, and then furthermore, he was like addressing me. So I can't remember exactly what he was saying, but like throwing compliments at me, asking me to look or open my eyes, asking if I'm mad at him, and meanwhile his boxers were on the ground and his penis was out. And I think he sat down and got back up several times. So sometimes his penis was in view, sometimes it was out of view within this like 10-minute time frame, that, or maybe less than that, he was engaging with his dick out. The other people in the server, like I said, I wasn't alone.
This happened in your server, but from people that came over from the Mr. Girl server, right?
They were people that I know from the Mr. Girl server, and who are invited, and who are also members of my server.
Okay.
The Rape Room, or TRR for short, for people who.
The faint of heart.
For the faint of heart, yes. And the other, it was, for my channel, it was kind of relatively full at the time, like maybe like 7 people, 8. And they recorded what was happening. And again, not because it was something that continued, wasn't just a momentary slip. But even at that, it was still been inappropriate, but it continued, and he began to address me. It was very uncomfortable. Okay, that happened. That was in the past. And honestly, there's no doubt that Big Dog was extremely drunk. As I said, he'd jumped in and out of the VC and was beginning progressively more drunk. I don't even remember if he started with a shirt on and then was coming in with a shirt off, or it was just the last time that his shirt was gone. But he was definitely getting progressively more inebriated. And that's why I think when I did finally get composed after the initial shock, I felt anger at him, but I directed it between the group that he came with, or among the group that he came with. I directed my anger because I felt it was too much of a coincidence that after all the number of times he was jumping in and out that evening, he suddenly comes in with 3 of his friends and exposes himself.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like they were obviously sober, whereas Big Dog was 3 sheets to the wind.
Yeah. The intel that I heard about this, I'm not saying this to like lessen your experience or anything, but what I heard about this was this guy actually has done this to like other people too. Uh, like just anybody just does it. Yeah. I just thought you might want to know.
I think that substantiates my suspicions that the people who came with him knew what he was going to do.
That makes a lot of sense because you were telling me that you were more upset, not that happened, because you told me that, you know, like when he's like sober, he's like fine. He just got really drunk and he was making a fool of himself, and I mean it was upsetting. But you said that you were more upset by how people were talking to you after that happened. No, I misremember.
You're just mischaracterizing.
Okay, I'll let you speak for yourself.
I was more upset. I was angry at him, and I definitely said, like, what the hell are you doing? But him being so drunk
Okay.
seemed like a lost cause, so I directed the anger that I was feeling at the entire situation and at Big Dog, who was absolutely irresponsible, but also with the friends who were with him, who I felt were perhaps egging him on or there to see the show. In any case, they were clear-headed. And I think that he was being goaded on by them. I mean, there's also a video. Like I said, I haven't watched it.
Mm-hmm. And how did so you wanted the mod team to do something about it and they didn't do anything about it, and then you
Well,
left
now
the
we're
server.
jumping ahead. That's why it's a long story as far as like what happened, how this relates to Mr. Girl's server. This happened on my server. This has nothing to do with Mr. Girl's server, obviously. But when it got brought up, I was already kind of being picked on, for lack of a better word. I'm not upset about it. You know, people do noxious, but just for lack of a better word, I was kind of getting picked on a little by certain people in the Mr. Girl server sometimes because I spoke now, because I've gone to stream, because I was somewhat recognizable.
Mm-hmm.
And also because I've gone on cam. So there are a couple of people who'd say nasty, obnoxious things from time to time again. But yeah, this one time it was a huge pile-on, and a group of people started to bring up what had happened, and I thought and mocking the situation, which I felt was too far, because it certainly did happen. I certainly had proof that it happened, and I think that's just reprehensible to make fun of someone exposing himself to, you know, women and men in a VC.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe women especially, but you know what? I don't think it was fair to the other people either.
Probably.
And
Well, it sounds like the way he was talking. Sorry, I'll let you talk.
And so yeah, I thought this crossed the line, and I wanted the mods to, at the very least, you know, just dispel some of this chaos that was going on.
Stand up for you.
Just to say, hey, what they did was like they told me to stop, I know that they told me to stop responding, and I did, but then I saw that they were continuing to say things. I'm like, are you going to tell them to stop? I keep getting pinged. I keep seeing replies. Yeah, I wanted them to moderate, to de-escalate. I was saying the wrong word before. I wanted them to de-escalate the situation. At the very least, you know, just break it up. And from what I saw, that they didn't do enough. And they also, in my conversations with the mod, I felt like they were I felt like they were disinterested and a little apathetic. I think they assumed that I was just complaining about something that was going on in my own server and wanting them to take action based on that, and not the actual discourse that was taking place in the chat, in the text chat. I think it was I know it was Saxon Forum, which has now been taken down.
And this happened like a few months ago or something. This was before Mr. Girl was banned, right?
Actually, I think it was around the same time.
Okay.
Maybe a little after.
I know that he.
It was. I'm sorry. It was the end of October, beginning of November.
All right. He made statements saying that he wanted to address sexism in his Discord server, and not sex. He wanted to. He'd heard wind of it, and he was trying to address it. And I think that that's an ongoing effort.
That's good. I was really disappointed. I think that. So as far as your original question, why did I leave the server? It was because the way that the mods were addressing me, which I felt was with a dismissive attitude, and even with a little bit of hostility as well. Hostility being a word I've used to describe some of the admins on Destiny's server. Yeah, one of the admin mod was actually hostile towards me when I was when he messaged me about why I was lodging complaints to the mod team. He came to me, he said, "We're not responsible for things that happen in your server." And I'm responding, "What do you think I'm upset about?" Because that's not what I'm upset about. I've been talking to all the other mods, sending them screenshots of things going on in the Saxon Forum. And so yeah, it was the way the mod team treated me that made me really grossed out and disappointed with the Mr. Girl server. And that's why I sent Mr. Girl that message in his inbox that everyone can view, saying, hey, you know what? I'm exhausted and it's not worth being in this space to talk to you if this kind of treatment is allowed. This type of behavior is allowed. And then I ended up sending him an email as well, because that's what you told me actually, that he replied saying, "Hey, if you're still here," because I left right after I wrote that message in his inbox, Mr. Girl inbox on his Discord server that everyone can view. You sent me a message telling me that he had replied, because I had left, asking me to either send him an email if I hadn't already left, or reply to the inbox, but that wasn't going to be an option because I'd left. And in the email, which I was initially drafting, but then I got, again, that one message from the higher up mod in Mr. Girl's server that was really hostile toward me, rather than the apathy that I kind of experienced as the situation was going on. Yeah, so the whole content of my email to him became about how his head mod was addressing me, and then going down in tiers of how the lower mods were handling this, and then eventually, talking about the content of what the crux of what had happened on his server. And I have screenshots of all that. I have the letter, but I've just been talking to you generally about what happened and why I left. And yeah, I felt that I didn't appreciate the lack of action, hostility, and apathy of the mods in his server. And again, my whole purpose of being on his server was to talk to him. I enjoyed his community, but I wasn't as engaged in it. So I left.
All right. Um, I feel like right now it's in a pretty healthy place, but that's my experience, and I'm not a woman, but I can't say. Um,
I think my
uh,
story stands on its own. It's not even about, I mean, granted, there are some things that would be gendered, talking about, I think, I mean, yeah,
well,
there are things
what I'm
that,
saying, I'm just saying that I think I believe that you sending him that email, Mr. Girl, made him want to fix the problem. So that's what I'm saying. But I can't say that it's fixed or anything. I don't know. You know, it's not something you can test or like show a number. So that
well, yeah,
happened, and you sent an email, and you left, and you aren't really interested in being in there anymore. Partly because he's not on YouTube anymore, but um,
I didn't
it stands on
know
its
that
own.
the space had changed either because he never replied to me. So why would I go back to a place that I felt was hostile toward me and
Right.
that wasn't that, and there was no recourse when those kind of situations would arise.
Mm-hmm. And okay, so recently you just streamed the other night because you wanted to talk about your experience in the Destiny Discord server.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a very different experience. So
That's nice.
you had more investment in that community.
Right. So, and to the person who said, I just want to clout, listen, I have different reasons for being in different servers. Let's respond to your chat. Destiny's community, I never had any interest in talking to Destiny, nor have I ever gone on Destiny's stream. Um, I enjoyed the community.
So what happened?
And to go over the story. He has more pointed
Can you
questions.
can you do it like okay? I'll just tell like I was doing it before, but I've kept fucking up and I am embarrassing myself. But I'll just tell you what I can gleam of the story, and you correct me. All right, and add where you think is important. Okay, you sure? Uh,
Go ahead.
okay,
I mean, I can give you a in the gist
okay,
of it was
okay.
that it was over moderating. It's not entirely analogous to the Mr. Girl situation
Nope.
because in the Mr. Girl's situation um, is relating to inactions of the mods, and here I'm talking about a particular mod uh, behaving atrociously. And it's a larger team of mods. So yeah, there are also the mods who kind of like operate this head mod named Cake that were also uh, behaving in just a vile fashion. But it's uh, it's the opposite in that case. But where there's a parallel, you might say, between Mr. Girl and Destiny is that I feel like in both cases they should be held that they should care and hold their servers to account. It reflects on them.
I didn't watch this but I think you mentioned that Destiny mentioned what happened with you on his stream or something, or am I misremembering?
I don't watch all of Destiny's streams. People tell me that about what call-ins have occurred, but there was one particular call-in from this user named Spinboy, and I had it clipped, but it got taken down, so I couldn't share it again. But he called in and essentially said how based it was that Cake, who was the admin that banned all of us, but how based it was that Cake got rid of this mod named Globalist and his harem of e-girls, referring to me and the three other women who were banned, and it's four in total, including the mod named Globalist. So yeah, this person named Spinboy, I don't know where he stands in the Destiny community. I don't think he has any role. He might be a subscriber. but yeah, he called Destiny Stream and just slandered us all, and it was gross, and it's
What
direct
did
consequence
what did
of the way
Destiny
that
say?
I don't remember. I said,
Okay.
oh, he was kind of like, oh really, oh really. He wasn't really
Yeah.
intrigued. It's oh really, and then some boys just saying, yeah, it was based.
So what happened? So you were accused of the general like accusation is you're accused of erotic role playing for 4 hours.
My role, me in particular, me as
Hmm.
an individual was only there to take screenshots of the bands because I knew all those people. They're all people that I consider Discord friends and were in my server, and so these people are Gus, Pat, and then Globalist, who's like a semi mod because he has mod power in a text channel, um, but he's not like a server mod. Um, they were all banned. I want to see what happened, um, screen capture it, and then I made a joke saying "can't ban me," and not to Kate directly, just as a joke in the VC in the text channel. And then all of a sudden, Cake out of nowhere goes wrong and bans me. Perma bans me, like he did. I'm sorry, let me preface it. Everything here is a perma ban, and something we can wait out. Um, and in the reasons that you list, because what happens is the way different servers have different kind of, I think, ways of getting rid of people on what pops up. But there's a Bernard bot that will, I think it's the Bernard bot at least, and the Bernard bot said what he wrote as the reason is weird hookup shit, and that's not true. That's certainly not the reason. And the reasons that he gave for the other people were weird hookup shit with mods. And the other woman, I mean, that was the reason. And then
You're cutting out. Your mic is getting quieter and quieter.
oh, sorry.
Oh, okay. Wait. Oh, hold on. You're loud now. All right. Can you say something?
Weird hookup
Okay.
shit with mods.
You're good.
Weird hook shit. I'm sorry. Weird hook shit with mods is what was written down for the other two women. And then for Globalist, the male mod, it was saying, for being a sex plus DM Ninu, who's a another head moderator on the DGG server for more info. Those are all the reasons. And I'm just telling you about what is being said in all our bands. The conversations that were being had in the comp side, which I was not present for. Again, I was only there just to take pictures after the fact and made the one comment. But the conversations that we're having among Cake and his friends, and then targeted toward those people who ended up being banned, was very gross and derogatory.
I remember you saying that because of the form that like says hookup shit, we girl hookup shit or something. Like you had to file a unban request, and so it's really embarrassing because like what are you supposed to write? You know.
It's yeah, there's the angle that he's memeing, but I can't speak to it just being about memeing because it was pretty harsh. And there's the reason that he wrote down, and to meme permaban, that just in and of itself is a bit distasteful.
I
It's
like what
not
you
funny.
said last night. I like you said if he wants to permaban you as a joke, just at least write it. I'm doing it because I'm like being a dick or joking, because then you could appeal it, and you could actually, like, you could speak to that, or and if he writes something completely like unrelated and just slandering then it puts you in a really awkward position where now you have this record there. And
Yeah, on the one hand, it was kind of lazy of him if he was just copying and pasting, but on the other hand, even if he had said that, the way that he was treating everyone before, I think you can't separate that from the ultimate actions that he took, where he was calling the other women, obnoxious e-girls. That's not a direct quote. Again, there's a whole sheet, a whole PDF of screenshots if I don't get direct quotes. But yeah, he was telling people they're annoying e-girls. Don't you hate them when they enter the server? The other people, I guess, who were in Cake's good graces was calling one a whore. I mean, this is all happening under Cake's purview. He's president, and this is his lair, so I've heard, the ComSci channel. And so even if he hadn't written that fallacious reason, I still think the context would speak louder. But yeah, I had to fill out an unbanned form, and the reason he stated, weird e-hookup shit. And the others was weird e-hookup shit with mods. And
weird e-hookup shit with mods.
Yeah, and then there's comments about us being part of this particular mod's harem. The implication being that we're trying to gain favor through our sexual prowess, I guess. I don't know. Seduce the mods to special privileges.
I can't imagine. So there have been times when I've had a similar, sexist response to women on Discord, where a woman will enter a server, and I'll perceive her as being like very, and maybe I'm right or maybe I'm wrong. Like, but this is my perception. Like, a woman will enter a server that I think is like trying to like manipulate men. Like, she just jumps in and like starts like saying like, give me money, like, and like weird shit like that. I've seen that, and that makes me like be like, it makes me get misogynistic, and I've been critical of myself for that, and a friend of mine convinced me to try to meet people where they are, with that kind of situation. But I can't really, personally, I can't imagine like seeing like a group of 4 people and like 3 of them are women, and my assumption or like my gut feeling is they're like they're the sexual dynamic or something. Like, I don't know, it's just, if there's 3 women and a guy, I'm just gonna assume it's just like, like friends, because like like I could imagine it the other way around, honestly. This is just bullshit. I can imagine, like, this doesn't mean anything, but I can imagine like 3 guys like following a woman, but I can't imagine 3 women following a man on Discord. Right?
Sure. I think Globalist was kind of making jokes about that. Like, I make women give me money.
Oh, I see.
He was being ironic, yeah.
Yeah, I think that
none of us are trying to seduce mods.
Yeah.
And Globalist, is a really cool guy, and I think he has I think he's romantically involved with someone. There was no mission on anyone's part to seduce him. And frankly, if there was, that's not a bannable offense. I have to say.
I feel like what I was saying earlier, I feel like because that's not just irony for the sake of irony. It's like if you're insulting him, or or you're trolling or being toxic towards him or something, or a woman in general in Discord, and then their response is to become more ironically like misandrist, or like make these jokes, oh, it's like my harem or something. I feel like I'm not gonna blame them for doing that, because I feel like it makes sense emotionally, and like you're just standing up for yourself. I think it needs to stop from the beginning. You just have to not antagonize people in a gendered way, like as soon as they enter a community and shit. Like, you know,
Well,
and it's
mind you,
very
what they
common.
were saying about calling globalists a sex pest, I think is something that's also a kind of gendered insult that
Hmm.
carries a lot of weight and is harmful to say without as a mod and on a band form.
Yeah.
You know, especially if it's unsubstantiated. I don't see the joke in that, the meme.
Um, so I watched your stream yesterday, obviously, and um, you were getting some feedback that wasn't. Maybe it was great, but I didn't perceive it as very productive. I don't think anyone. You guys were getting some shitty feedback, some toxic feedback, and like I noticed a
What?
trend. Hmm?
The people who spoke to me on the Discord, you mean the Collins?
Yeah, but
Oh
also
yeah,
in the
they
chat
were.
too. In the chat too. You
I
got
wonder
some
if
good feedback too, but I'm
yeah,
referring
I
to the
felt
bad
like the
feedback.
people who wanted to speak were the people who are interested in defending DGG, which is fine.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
obviously, so I don't know. I don't think they did it well. I don't think they
But
made
yeah,
great
that's what I want
arguments.
to talk about.
I kind of think it was a big L for them, frankly.
Yeah, well, I want to talk. Yeah, I want to talk about the types of things they were saying, because the types of things that I saw repeatedly. Well, one of like the common thread was just this like the wrong notes up. I wrote down what I was gonna like um saying stuff like you're naive. Like I saw someone immediately at the beginning like, is this her first time ever being on the internet? Doesn't she know this is how it is? You know what I mean? Like um that's
Um,
not good. Like that's not that's just, you're just dismissing her and saying I don't want to hear what you have to say because it upsets me, and I don't want to hear it. That's like basically the gist of it, I guess.
I do think that it's important to, because I defend, and this is me personally, some women might disagree. I think you do have to have a level of thick skin and understanding that it's a ship posting server, and you're gonna um, be in a space where people are making antagonistic comments toward each other,
Hmm.
and it's supposed to be an air of humor. So, yeah, to some completely um, unfamiliar with the territory, be even more shocking. So to that end, there's some legitimacy in asking, "Do you know where you're at?" you know,
I've got a
and obviously
criticism.
I do. Obviously, I fucking do, and he was being a retard. Ooh,
I've got
sorry.
a criticism of you. You can
On
say it.
YouTube, he was retarded. He was retarded.
I've got a criticism of you.
Shoot.
Um, but I don't. I'm not very passionate about this criticism. Um, you banned me from your server once,
Are you
and
sure?
you did, yes. And like for like a month, and then you like re-invited me at some point. So, and I knew it
Can
was
I
a
check
joke.
my logs? Can I? I don't remember this.
This is not something
You-
I'm very passionate about. I've like I want to bring it up because you banned me for a joke reason. Um, in the you have like a not safe for work channel, and I posted like a picture of my abs so you could see like my pubes. And you said you told me that I was banned because I need to shave my pubes, and then you banned me.
Are you sure? If it was me, because I don't kick or ban, because then I know because I it's invite only. Um, and I get harassed too because it's a small server and I'm obviously it's mine. And I
Hmm.
have my DMs open. So when I do something that's uh like that can't be waited out. I know I'm gonna hear about it. And I don't remember, but are you sure it wasn't a timeout? Because I do
It,
timeouts a lot.
I think I was banned. But you
Can I
invited
check?
me back, but I think you were just like messing with me, but I just didn't respond. You did that,
Can
and
we
then I think you
check
wanted me to
scores?
be like, I think you wanted me to be like, oh, well, like, like retaliate, but I was just like, oh, all right. So it didn't
Okay,
work.
I wouldn't, if I wanted you to respond, because sometimes I'll say, I do this a lot on my server as a joke, because I mostly give timeouts. Um, and the time doesn't even matter, because I'll say, uh, as a joke, uh, beg for forgiveness or wait out punishment, which means DM me to apologize, or maybe even state your case. It's usually these are timeouts, they're not
Oh, it
serious.
might have been it might have been that, yeah.
So if I said to you to reach out to me, then I wouldn't have kicked you or banned you because then I have to reinvite you. Um, and um,
Anyway, though, that's it was a similar reason you did a moderation thing for a meme reason towards me.
right, it wouldn't have been a perma ban though, and
Yeah,
it
it
wouldn't have
wasn't.
been and it wouldn't have been something that would be if you can't tell me a duration of time because these things this matters. How severe is it? What was the duration? Is it obvious that I'm joking?
I
So if you can't give me any more context, I don't know what to say. But if it sounds like maybe you posted in the wrong channel, something maybe like pubes, you can post whatever you want in my not safe for work channel. That's you know, separate and I mean the whole server is age restricted, but that one is especially. Um, if you posted something in the wrong channel, I might have timed out you maybe for a day based on what you told me you did and say,
I don't think that. I think I remember you banning me, and I think I posted in the right channel. But
can we look this up?
but
Yeah, we have to
you know what,
speculate.
like I'd rather just say, you know what, I'd rather say, if we're gonna look it up, I'd rather just let you win because I don't really care that much.
Pick your battles, motherfucker.
All right, I'll lose it. I'll just lose it. Do you accept that?
If I expected you to DM
Because I've
me,
said it now.
um, if I expected you to DM me, I wouldn't have kicked or banned you because that's a lot of work. I mean, that's a lot more steps than just give me a quick timeout.
Okay.
Um, and I'll say wait it out if you're really indignant and don't want to send me a message of
Yeah.
contrition.
Okay.
I won't
Anyway,
even do
okay.
that.
Okay. Um. So you're saying that that's different from what Cake did.
Yes, very.
Okay. And especially, it's also your server and it's a private server. So like
I'm not.
you can legit like you can like make it so it's only people with no pubes in the whole server if you want. You know,
Is this just a way for you to talk about your fucking pubes? This is what you really want is to
no,
talk about the
no.
state of your genitalia?
You don't know what the state is. I'm not telling you right now.
All right,
Um,
tell me.
yeah, yeah, whatever. Okay. So do you think that this kind of thing on Discord is kind of a universal experience, like these types of experiences for women, or is it just some servers?
I do think it's some servers. I
Hold
don't.
on, hold on.
Um, I do think it's some servers, and I think um, among those certain types of servers, there are women by and large have experience not exactly like mine in terms of banning, but similar in terms of feeling like they are being um, aggressively targeted and made to feel uncomfortable or singled out.
Mm-hmm.
So I should say there are sometimes it's more attention certainly, and that could be good or bad. Um, but when it's bad, it's a lot. and there are women who've had worse experiences than me with men being solicitous and inappropriate.
Yes. Yeah, I don't get that. Yeah. Someone in chat earlier was saying they don't get that. I don't get it. I guess it's just young men who don't really know what they're doing. They just like need to. I got a dick and I gotta show it to someone, and just I don't know. I guess I don't know. I think it. If I'm saying if I'm talking on stream, I'll just say I think it's cowardly to send a dick pic if you're not brave enough to have your face in it. You shouldn't be sending it. If you wanna be so bold as to make that kind of a move, and you're too cowardly to have your face in the picture, you shouldn't do it. If you're gonna make that kind of move, you know.
Sure. I mean, I don't know. I don't think putting your face in there is gonna help your case.
I know
But
it's just more
I
like
mean,
it
I
go
was
if
even annoyed.
yeah, just if to judge your own feelings, like if you need to, if you're gonna do that, like it can't just be willy-nilly, and it's like, you're yeah. That's something I heard Eric Andre say. He said if you're too cowardly to have your face in a dick pic, you shouldn't send it. I think that's a good rule of thumb.
I miss Eric Andre. I liked his show.
Someone says,
I'm not
"What
sure,
if you wear a mask?" No. That,
if it's unsolicited, I mean, there's
Yeah.
really not much you can do.
Well, yeah, I've
I
never
mean, not
honestly.
unsolicited, if it's unwarranted, if someone's not asking.
Yeah, exactly. Like I would never, like, even if that, like I would never like just send somebody like a picture of myself like that without asking. Like if you really want to, like you can just ask at least, like like what, like I don't understand. Someone make me understand. I don't get it. Do you get dick pics on Discord?
I've never received an unsolicited dick pic. In that way, my experience is better than other women.
Oh. Huh. Well, I forget. Are you sure? Like, it just seems so weird to do. Maybe, I don't know. Who are these fucking men doing this?
You have to ask someone who's experienced that.
This is something I would imagine on Facebook or something. You got like these weird like weird socially like people that aren't smart enough to download Discord, but they have a Facebook, and they're like 50 or something. Like that's who I would imagine would just send a dick pic to someone randomly. I don't know.
I feel like it's something perhaps a little bit more of an inherent drive to
Oh.
show off your sexual prowess.
If you wanna show, I need to get someone on here. I wish you were a man that loves sending women unsolicited dick pics, so I could pick your mind right now, and I could talk to you. That's what I would.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, just letting me down here. If you have that drive and you want that, you gotta earn it. It's not even that hard.
I have so I have my own server, as you know. Oh my gosh, my computer's not charged. I'm sorry. Give me one sec.
She's got her own server, as you know. Someone in chat. I'm not gonna read your racist comments. Someone in chat said something racist, and I'm not gonna read it. Let's see. Do I have anything else here?
Sorry about that. I did have a charger here, but It's the USB-C port is taken, so I had to get the other type of charger. Okay, we're safe.
All right.
So what were we saying? So I do have on my channel a uniporn.
Mhm.
What I call uniporn, it's where people can post links to their favorite porn. I don't know why there's a strong desire to share that among men. I find that interesting. Um, and I feel like it helps make a buffer for if someone wants to
So
send me
that's why you have it is a buffer?
no, but I'm discovering it kind of serves as one.
Huh. But what so why do you have it?
I have it because I find it interesting to see people's different kinks.
Okay, so then you can't just say
Just to an extent
you
that
can't
I am.
be all holier than thou, okay? I've seen you
About
post
what?
in there plenty of times.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Okay.
can you more than that about what?
About men and their need to share porn, but you have a channel in your own Discord where you like to share porn and like to see what other people share.
I feel like I was defending that drive more. You were saying that it's relegated to 50-year-old men on Facebook, and I'm saying it's
No,
not.
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying specifically dick pics. Specifically just a close up of your dick to a random woman that you like, she says hi to you and you just immediately send her a dick pic. I feel like that's just like just so toddler brained. Uh
That hasn't happened. And nor has there been too, not that much at least. Not, there's been so much, and I'm not always in unicorn, and there's been so many posts. There's not too many of someone posting themselves in, with their, a man with their genitalia out. Um, but it does happen sometimes, and I feel like I found that, oh, this can kind of be like a buffer in a way. Say it's my channel and I mean, it's my server and that's a channel there that I do engage with sometimes.
well, that's good of you letting the computers meal. Another loud noise. Okay. Well, thank you for giving me a notification that OBS has reconnected. I wonder if my stream had disconnected at some point. Anyway, the very nice of you to give men a avenue to have a healthy vent for their sexuality.
And women.
Yeah, but women have a lot of those.
It's not so much that there are a lot of them. I think women tend not to express themselves so overtly.
That's true. That's true. So yeah, but like everybody wants them to, but they don't. But nobody wants men to do it, and they do. Nobody wants to hear anything about men's sexuality. Everything about men's sexuality is, oh, that's gross and creepy, and we don't want to hear about it. Keep that hidden away. And then everything about women's sexuality is like, oh, we want that so much. Just please get naked right now. And they're like, no, get away from me, get away from me, leave me alone. There's no middle
sometimes,
ground.
sometimes that's the case.
Yeah,
I'm curious sometimes, a lot of the time.
yeah. All right. Do you have anything to say to any young men that are watching that use Discord, that interact? What do you have to say to them? Like a new woman appears on Discord. What do you have to say to those young men that?
I think people should be authentic to themselves. What I don't like is the veiled anonymity. If being under a mask, uh, so to speak, online makes you behave
Mm,
wildly different, I advise against that. I understand that, maybe you don't want to be doxxed, you don't want, and sometimes in this day and age, like having opinions that aren't in line with wherever you work, and, there could be real life consequences. So I'm not begrudging anyone from wanting to be anonymous, but if you would act differently in person, I advise against it.
hmm. I bet all these men are little pussies in person.
Um, that's okay as long as you're not maybe uh you're more willing to try and engage with someone without your face showing and stuff. But because you're insecure about that. So it's one thing to say like, okay, the insecurities are removed and
Hmm?
maybe some of like the consequence of rejection is removed, but acting out though in a malicious way because you have the veil there is something I would
Yeah.
advise against. I mean, acting maliciously anyway, but just being memey and obnoxious because you're anonymous, grow a pair. That's what I have to say to that.
Yeah. I am insecure all the time, but I try my best not to like lash out at people when I'm insecure. And I do it. I mean, everybody does it. Like for sure, everybody does it, but like
I isolate when I'm insecure. I'm not sure I lash out. I'm insecure.
okay, well everybody but you. Well,
What
I
do you mean
guess
you lash out? What do you mean you lash out because you're
um
insecure?
like somebody like there's some situations where I'm sure this would happen with you. Like somebody I don't know what you're insecure about, and I'm not going to ask you for an example so I can use it against you right now. But like, let's say that you're insecure, like about, okay, like I'll make up a backstory for you. Let's say like that necklace you got from like your dad when he died or something, and, um, like so, but you think it's ugly, but you feel like you have to wear it, and it's something that it's important to you, and then someone's like, that necklace is ugly, and you're like, what'd you say? And you know, and because that was something that actually got to you, and like yeah, that necklace is ugly, and they notice it gets to you, and they keep pushing at it, and then when they do that, or even they just make a small comment, and then you're like, no, fuck you, you don't, why are you even talking about people's necklaces and appearance? Like, you don't even have a necklace, like, you can't even afford a necklace, you don't even know what you're talking about, you're just a poor scumbag on the internet, you're being sexist, you harass women, and people just start, it just all of your insecurities start lashing out, uh when someone hits that right spot. That's what a lot of these trolls online like to do. They like trying to find that fucking spot and fucking jabbing their finger right in there.
Yeah, I try to rise above that.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes me special, but maybe online it does. I don't think in real life it's hard to conduct yourself better.
Yeah. It's really easy to lash out like that in text. Um, all right. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me, and thank you again for your help throughout
You're
all of
welcome.
this. I really appreciate it.
Anytime. She's been streaming. Sarah Neil Teresa has been streaming. She just did her first stream, but she's talking about doing it more. And her YouTube is linked in my description. All right.
Yeah, it's Star Sarah Star.
All right. There you have it. Bye. All right. And as we come to a close, you find yourself in a grassy field. And in that field, you see a pile of bugs. And that pile of bugs smells like a pile of pussy. You keep walking, ruminating. It's to your side. Keep walking past. In the grassy field, towards the trees. Pile of bugs, now behind you. You keep moving past it. And as you enter the trees and you exit the field, you realize you were the pile of bugs. And you do smell like pussy. And then the age-old saying comes to mind. I am what I eat. Have a good day, everyone.